What does it mean when a system built on loyalty and discipline turns its scrutiny inward at the very top? In late 2025, China announced investigations into two of its most senior generals, including a figure long viewed as indispensable. The decision matters far beyond Beijing, touching military readiness, political control, and global stability. If this process deepens, it could reshape how China governs its armed forces. If it stalls, credibility suffers. If it succeeds, it may reinforce central authority and operational effectiveness. The outcome affects deterrence in East Asia, civil-military relations inside China, and how external powers assess continuity within the world's largest standing military. The story centers on the People's Liberation Army, an institution shaped by revolutionary origins and party control. Since 1949, the Chinese Communist Party has insisted that the military serves the party, not the state. This principle places political reliability alongside battlefield capability, making enforcement of discipline a strategic priority rather than a purely legal one. In December, China's Defense Ministry confirmed an investigation into General Zhang Yuxia for serious disciplinary and legal violations. In China's political system, that formulation usually signals corruption probes rather than battlefield misconduct. The ministry also announced an investigation into General Liu Zhenli, another senior officer, without providing further allegations. Zhang's profile explains the attention. At 75, he served as vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, the party body that commands the armed forces and is chaired by President Xi Jinping. He also sat on the 24-member Politburo, placing him among the country's most powerful decision-makers. His background reinforced his standing. Zhang joined the military in 1968, experienced combat, and was the son of a founding revolutionary general. He remained in office beyond customary retirement age, widely interpreted as a sign of trust and continuity during a period of military modernization and structural reform. The investigation follows a broader pattern. In October, 9 senior generals were expelled from top positions, marking one of the largest public military crackdowns in decades. Those actions accelerated a campaign that has increasingly focused on procurement, promotions, and command integrity within the armed forces. The timing also matters. Days before the announcement, Zhang and Liu were absent from a high-level party event in December, triggering speculation among analysts and observers. In China's political culture, such absences often precede formal disciplinary action, serving as early signals rather than public accusations. President Xi has framed corruption as the primary threat to party survival and state capacity. Since taking power, he has overseen repeated anti-corruption drives across government, finance, and the military. Supporters argue the effort strengthens governance, reduces waste, and improves command effectiveness at a time of rapid technological change. Within the military, the campaign targets both personal enrichment and structural weaknesses. China's defense budget exceeds $200 billion annually, creating risks in procurement and logistics. Cleaning these systems is presented as essential to readiness, especially as the PLA modernizes toward joint operations and advanced capabilities. Critics outside China often view such investigations through a factional lens. Inside the system, however, the stated objective is alignment, ensuring loyalty, discipline, and competence as reforms proceed. The distinction matters when assessing intent versus effect in a one-party political framework. The current investigations leave the Central Military Commission reduced to 2 members from its original 7. President Xi as chairman and Jiang Shengmin, who oversees disciplinary affairs. This concentration underscores how seriously the leadership treats enforcement during a sensitive period of restructuring. What if the campaign uncovers deeper institutional problems? In that scenario, further removals could slow decision-making but ultimately strengthen standards. Short-term disruption might be traded for longer-term cohesion as promotion pathways are recalibrated around compliance and performance? What if instead the investigations conclude quickly with limited findings? That outcome could reassure markets and neighbors about continuity while still signaling zero tolerance. It would suggest the system can correct itself without prolonged instability at the top. Geopolitically, continuity matters. External observers monitor PLA leadership for signals on Taiwan, the South China Sea, and regional deterrence. Sudden uncertainty could invite miscalculation. Clear lines of authority reduce that risk, reinforcing predictability even amid competition. At the same time, sustained discipline campaigns shape civil-military relations. By reaffirming party control, the leadership seeks to prevent autonomous power centers. This approach prioritizes political cohesion as a prerequisite for military effectiveness rather than treating them as competing goals. China's history informs this calculus. Past periods of corruption weakened command integrity and morale. Lessons drawn from those episodes underpin current reforms, linking discipline to operational success rather than ideology alone. The investigations into Zhang and Liu, therefore, sit at the intersection of governance, security, and reform. They test whether a centralized system can enforce standards impartially at the highest levels while maintaining stability. For global audiences, the key is not personalities but process. Watch how appointments are filled, how reforms proceed, and whether transparency increases over time. These signals reveal how China balances authority with accountability. Observers should also note the broader institutional rhythm. Investigations are paired with training reforms, procurement audits, and doctrinal updates designed to reduce reliance on individual authority. The emphasis on systems rather than personalities aims to make compliance routine rather than exceptional. As promotions resume, signals about merit, education, and operational experience will indicate how lessons are applied. For neighboring states, stability inside the PLA reduces uncertainty during a period of strategic competition. Predictable command structures lower incentives for escalation and help crisis management mechanisms function. Markets too respond to clarity, particularly when defense governance intersects with technology supply chains and industrial planning. Ultimately, this episode underscores a governing philosophy that prioritizes order, discipline, and capacity. The leadership is betting that confronting problems internally strengthens legitimacy rather than undermines it. Whether that bet pays off will depend on consistency and outcomes. Viewers should watch not only announcements but implementation, because power is measured less by declarations than by the durability of the institutions that carry them forward. The next appointments will quietly signal how reform, continuity, and discipline are balanced.